Now after opening the terminal over here, I will open the command prompt as usual. We will go ahead and create a new environment. That is always a good idea. Okay. So for creating a new environment, I'll write conda create -p venv python = 3.10 with y. Okay. So I hope everybody knows about this. So this will basically create my venv environment. And once that environment is created, I will activate it. Till then, I will also go ahead and install requirements.txt. Okay. So once I install requirement.txt, I will be requiring some libraries like Boto3. So Boto3 is a library which will actually help me to connect all the services that we have in Amazon Bedrock, right? AWS Bedrock also. So this is some of the things. Along with this, I will also go ahead and import or install AWS CLI, right? So guys, now after creating the environment, I will go ahead and activate the environment. So venv, so my environment has been activated. Now what I'm actually going to do over here, I'll save this requirement.txt, and then we will go ahead and install these two libraries. One is pip install -r requirement.txt. So once I specifically install all these requirements, one is two only libraries are required, Boto3 and AWS CLI. Now the next thing, till this requirement is getting installed, we also need to create an IAM user so that we will be able to configure it with the AWS itself, right? So what I'm actually going to go, I'll go and click on the home page. Okay. I will sign into the console again, and here I will search for IAM user. Okay. So once you go to the IAM user, you will be able to see that I will go ahead and create a user itself. So right now there are multiple users. So let me do one thing. Let me go and see the user. Already Krish is created, but I will just create one more user. Let's say test admin. Okay. So this is the user that I will specifically create, and I will click on next. I will say attach policies directly. I will select this option, and I will give the administrator access. Okay. So administrator access basically means that we are giving the administrator access itself, right? But again, when you're working in the company, you will definitely not get this access. Instead, based on the services that you're specifically using, that access you will get. Okay. I will go ahead and create the policy. So let's see, once I go over here, then it'll ask for some permission. So, okay, forget about policies. Then I will go ahead, and here you will be able to see that I'll select the next button. Okay. After selecting the next button, you can see I'm getting the administrator access. Along with this, what I'll go ahead and create the user itself. Now this is the user that you can see over here, test admin, right? And now let me click on this create access key, right? So I definitely require an access key. So for that, I will go ahead and create this. Over here, you can select command line interface since we are going to use it for CLI. I will go ahead and click on this I understand, and then I will go ahead and click on the next. Once I click on the next, you'll be able to see there's some description value it will ask for. I will say test key. Okay. And let me go ahead and create the access key. So here you can see I have the access key. I have the secret access key. Now what you can do is that in this particular case, you can download this, right? So that later on you'll not be able to see this. So it is a good idea that you download this in the form of CSV file. So I'll download this in the form of CSV file, and inside this CSV file, I'll get these two values. One is access key, one is the secret access key. So let me quickly go ahead and copy this, and now I will go ahead and configure it, right? We need to configure it over here. So already you know that we have also made sure that this AWS CLI is available over here and it is installed. Now what we are going to do quickly is that we will go ahead and configure it from the command line. So let me go ahead and write AWS configure, right? So here you will be able to see it is asking for AWS key ID. So I will copy and paste it over here. So I will copy this and I will paste it over here. Okay. So once I probably paste it, you will be able to see that it will also ask for secret access key. So here I will copy it, and let me quickly go ahead and paste it over here. So here is what, see right now you are able to see the access key, but don't worry, I will delete this as soon as I complete this video. Now the default region it is basically asking. So right now it is US East 1. So if I go ahead and see my Amazon Bedrock right now where I am pointing to, so please make sure that you point it to US East 1. If you are not pointing over here, you can basically, whatever region you are pointing, you have to write it over there. But right now, according to me, I'm going to point it over here, right? That is with respect to US East 1. Now, one more additional setting you really need to do is that go to the model access, because see, initially when you are in this US East 1, this model access will not be given, right? So over here, you have to access, you need to have the status of access granted. Then only you'll be able to use this specific models. Now for that, when you click on manage model access, right, automatically this selection will come, and here you will be able to just save the changes. Here one option of activate changes will come. See in the bottom side, like save changes is over here, no? So here I've enabled it and this access is granted. Right now, if it is not granted, then this all will be disabled right now, right? So what I will do, just to show you an example, let me just reload this page. Let me show you whether I have granted some other see, let's say with respect to Singapore, if I'm in Asia Pacific Singapore region, right? Now inside the Singapore region, you will be able to see that, see, something is not available over here, right? Like these two are not available. So I will skip Singapore. Let's go to Tokyo. Okay. Just to show you an idea, because I've already activated in US East 1. So if I probably see with this region here, you'll be able to see this much access you have available to a request, available to request. So if I probably click on manage model, and if I probably just click on this, let's say these are available, right? I just need to click on request model access. So for this region, only these 3 models are available. These 2 models are available. So my always suggestion would be that you go to US East 1, right? In US East 1, you'll be able to see multiple models like this, right? Multiple models, you'll be able to see it. Okay. So you have to request for the access, right? If I probably, you can select US East 1 also, or you can also select US West. It is up to you. US West 2. So here also they provide you the access of all the models, right? So understand one thing, why I'm showing you all these things, because initially you really need to request access. And this is also what I've requested already. So here you'll be able to find out more use cases, right? So everything is available, right? But by default, I will go ahead and use this US East of N Virginia. Okay. So right now, again, my access is granted. So if your access is not granted, you have to request for it. Okay. So once this is done, I'll go back to my command prompt. Here, the default region is US East 1. So I'll press enter. This is what I really want. And default output format I want in the form of JSON. So I will go ahead and write JSON. Okay. So this is the initial setup you really need to do. Now let's start working on different models. So guys, now once we have actually configured, now we will go ahead and use any of these models as an example, and we'll try to perform various tasks. So in this example, let me do one thing. Let me take an example of content generation in cloud. Okay. So cloudy one we can specifically take, or let's say I want Llama 2, you can actually take Llama 2. So it's up to you. So let's first of all start with this Llama 2 itself. And for this, I'm going to specifically use Llama 2 70 billion parameters. Okay. The chain of thoughts. Okay. And with respect to every model, you will be getting some model ID, content type. So this is how is the API request needs to go. So we'll form this entire API request through our code, and then we will go ahead and hit this. Okay. So let me quickly go ahead and start my coding. Okay. So here I will rename this to Llama 2, the Llama 2. So here is the file, guys, llama2.py. So I will start my code over here. So first of all, let me go ahead and write import Boto3. I'm going to import Boto3. Along with it, I'm also going to import JSON. The first thing, as usual, you will be able to see that whenever I see this files, right? Say chain of thought over here, I have to create my API request with the help of model name, model ID. Then I need to also put content type, then accept. Then my body should look something like this, prompt with all this information. See, in Llama 2, so basically your prompt intro will start with, or prompt first character will probably start with, first word will start with this. Okay. It's just like an instruction. Okay. INST. Then here you have multiple options. You can probably see this, right? You have options like max gen length, then temperature, then top P 0.9, something like this. Okay. So top P basically means, I think it is with respect to the probability. So let's quickly go ahead and set up that entire command prompt. So what I will do is that I will copy this entirely. Okay. And I will create one JSON. Okay. I will write test.json so that I have that format over here. So this is the JSON. I have to make sure that I have to put all my API requests in this form. Okay. For using Llama 2. Now quickly, I will go ahead and write one prompt underscore data. I will say, hey, this prompt data, I want to do something like that. I'll say act as a Shakespeare and write a poem on machine learning. Let's say this is my prompt that I specifically want to use. Okay. Now, the most amazing thing is that Amazon AWS Bedrock is quite good. You know, it provides you easy APIs. The APIs request, you just need to use it and start serving it, start using it in your application. So I will first of all go ahead and use this Bedrock. So I will write Bedrock is equal to Boto3.client, and then I will specifically use my service underscore name, or service underscore name is equal to, and I have to give the service name as Bedrock dash runtime. So this is the first thing that we really need to do. This is the client name, like this is the service name that we really need to use. And with the help of Boto3, we'll be able to connect to the Bedrock itself. So this is my Bedrock over here. Now the next thing is that I need to form the payload, right? So this will basically be my payload structure. As a dictionary, I will try to give the values in key value pair. As usual, if I probably see the test JSON, this is what is my body. So I need to have in the form of key value press. Prompt is equal to some value. Then you'll be able to see max gen length some value, temperature some value, top underscore p some value. So similarly, I will also give my payload in this format. So here I will write prompt colon, and here I will go ahead and write inst, since this is my intro, right? And this intro will be concatenated with my prompt underscore data, right? So this I'm concatenating with my prompt underscore data, and in the end I have to probably also end this instruction. Okay, so this is how my prompt, this prompt body has got created, right? This is what it has got created, right? Because the prompt will get inserted over here. Now along with this prompt, I need to provide some more different values, right? What all values I need to provide? One example is that I'm getting from my API max gen underscore length. Okay, and this will also be in the form of key value pairs, and here I will mention 512. Okay, and then the next thing is that I will go ahead and write temperature with colon 0.5 comma top underscore p colon 0.9. Okay, so these are my initial values that I've actually set up, and this is nothing but this is my payload, the payload that is specifically going over here. So once we do this, the next thing what I will do, this is basically my body. So I will write body json.dumps. I will basically convert this into a JSON, and I will use my payload over here. Okay, so once my body is basically created, the next thing what I'm actually going to do over here, I'm going to basically write my model ID and use model ID name. As usual, the model ID name is this one, meta, this one, version 1, something. Okay, so I'll paste it over here. So this basically becomes my model ID itself. Now I'll go ahead and create my response. Now in the response, what I need to do, I just need to write bedrock, the bedrock object that is created over here, dot invoke underscore model. Okay, now inside this I will give my first parameter. The first parameter is nothing but body. The body will be initialized to this specific body itself, whatever body we have actually created. The second parameter is nothing but my model ID. So model, oops, just a second, bedrock. So I have to use this model ID. Okay, so this will basically be my second parameter that I really need to give, model ID, and this I will initialize to what we need to initialize to this model ID, right? So my second parameter is also done, body is done, model ID is done. After model ID, I need to give my accept token. As usual, what is the accept token in test.json? It is nothing but application/json. So I'll paste it over here. Oops, I'll paste it over here. Done. The next parameter after this will be nothing but, let me see, content type. Okay, so I have to also give my content type over here. This will also be my application/json, I guess. Again, I'm just seeing this API. So whatever values are there, my body is ready, my accept, model ID, content type, everything is ready. These are the 4 parameters I need to give in my invoke model, right? What model I'm specifically invoking. Now, once I get this, you will be able to see that. Once I probably go ahead and write response underscore, this will basically be my response. Inside this response, understand, once I get this specific response, I'll take the body part. Okay, so inner part, because there will be many different contents that will be coming up. So if I write json.loads, I will take this value and I will say response.get. So inside this, there will be a key which will be called as body. Okay, inside that body, you will find out entire information of the response that you are able to get. In this particular case, whatever text I'm writing, act as a Shakespeare and write a poem on machine learning. So this is basically my prompt, and it will give that specific text inside this body. Okay, so I will write this. Okay, this body.read. This is done. Now I will go ahead and print. I can also print it, but I don't want it. So let me go ahead and write response underscore text. Now inside this, one thing that you'll be able to see that whenever we use Llama 2, if you don't know, I've also created videos with respect to Llama 2, the open source model. If I use this response underscore body, there will also be a key. See, inside this body, there'll be a body key. Inside that, there will be another key which will be called as generation, which will have the entire text of the response that we want. Okay, so I will just go ahead and print this response underscore text. Done. Now let's see if everything is working fine or not, and whether we will be able to see each and everything. So this is very simple. A prompt is over here. We have invoked the bedrock. Then there is a payload. Then here you have this entire body. I've created in the form of JSON. Then model ID, accept, content type. The main thing is understand this test JSON, right? And then you will be able to do it. So perfect. Let's execute this now, and let's see whether everything is working fine or not. Okay. So I will just go ahead and write Python Llama 2. Oops. Clear the screen. Okay. Python Llama 2.py. Okay. So it will take some time. Again, as you all know, some response time it will take with respect to the APIs that we have. And again, now we are hitting the specific API from the cloud, from the AWS server itself, right? In AWS Bedrock. So here is the entire text. Here you'll be able to see. In the fair digital realm where data dot flows free, a wondrous art dot rise called machine learning. Yes, see, this is a science, a craft, a mystic spell. The dot enable machine to learn and tell. With algorithm sharp and data set vast, our computers don't gain wisdom and their insights dot last. And again, based on the token size, it will be charging. Okay, so all the information. See, now whatever prompt you want to give over here, right? Let's say I'll go ahead and write what is generative AI, like. Write a poem on generative AI, you'll be able to see this. You'll get some response over here. So I'll save this. Now I will go ahead and run it. Okay. Now similarly, you can actually do it with Cloudy too. You can do it Stable Diffusion. I'll also show you an example with respect to Stable Diffusion, and then you can also explore that. As said, now let's go ahead. We'll try to do it with the help of Cloudy too. And again, with respect to that also, we'll try to see. Okay. So this is one text generation. So here also you can see. In the realm of code and circularity, a marvel of man's ingenuity, a creation that dot rival the generative AI wonder to see. So all the information is specifically coming over here. Now let's try another API, and then after this we will go ahead and try the image generation with the help of Stable Diffusion. So Cloudy, let's see, where is Cloudy content generation. Okay, so here is my API. So I'll copy this. It is always good to keep a test JSON like this. Okay. Now almost each and everything is same. Okay, I'll talk about like what are changes will basically happen. Okay, so Llama 2, let me just copy this 4 lines of code. It will be almost same. Then I have my payload. I will also copy this, and then we'll change the payload. Okay, so we'll change the payload. So inside this payload, you have prompt is equal to human. You are an expert social media generation. So whatever prompt, basic prompt data, right? So here I don't have to probably create this. I don't want this. Okay, so this will basically be my prompt data. Done. Then let's go with the next parameter. So what are the next parameter? Come on guys, till then hit like. I'm working so much hard here. Come on. Okay, anthropic version is there, stop sequence is there, temperature this is there, max tokens is there. Say max token to sample is there. So let me just quickly go ahead and write what all things I require over here. So I will go ahead and write max tokens. Okay, so this will be 512 max tokens. Then I have my temperature. Then I have this top P parameter looks something like this. Okay, top P will be 0.8. Okay, something. I'm putting some values. Temperature, let's keep it to 0.8. Let it be more creative. Okay, so this is basically my payload. Okay, now everything almost looks same. You'll be able to see that I will. Okay, I think there is another one. Let's see. Content generation is also there. This is also there. Okay, fine. No worries. Okay, so I think I've used another version. Let me use another one also, which I have already tried. So it'll be looking good. Okay, so Cloudy 2. So let's quickly go ahead and create my body. So here you have this one. So body json.doms payload, model ID will be this one, right? Bedrock this, everything is there, body, model ID, application and content type. So once we get the response, this time when we get the response body, okay, like this, when we get this specific body, now inside this body, you'll be able to see that there, in the case of Llama 2, inside this body we have generation, but here inside this body we will be having some more steps. Okay, so that will be some more key value pairs. So here I've written it. So it will be nothing but completions of 0, get data and then get text. So in completions, it is just like a list of key value pairs. So I will just take the first one and then probably display the data inside that, whatever text is basically coming. And then we will go ahead and response underscore text. Okay, so now everything works fine. I think I've used this model or other model. So this is version 2. Okay, in Cloudy, let's say in Cloudy some other version is also there. I don't know from where I found out, but it was available here only. Advanced Q&A. Yes, I used this one, I guess. Yeah, advanced Q&A. I used this model ID, I guess. Okay, perfect. So once we do this, let's go ahead and run it now. Now I'll go to my terminal. Now let's see whether each and everything will run fine or not. Once I tried with Llama 2, now I'm tried with Cloudy 2, right? So I will write Python Cloudy 2 Cloudy dot py. Okay, so here also you'll be able to see the print statement. Oh, this was quite fast, right? So here you can see, oh gentle AI with your boundary power to think and create with no efforts. So you are specifically getting this specific output also. So this was with respect to Cloudy. Again, you can try anything that you want. Just take this JSON, just try to play with it. Let's say I take this information only and use this model. Let's see. I will paste it over here. I will take this entire thing and paste this model. So here itself I'll change it. I think cloudy, I may get an error because I don't know whether we are able to manage it or not. So I saw access denied. See, so this model is not available. The version 1 is available, I guess. I think I explored this earlier. Find it somewhere. If I probably search this, you'll be able to find it, I guess. Let's see. But anyhow, you try it out from your end. Anyhow, I'll be giving you the code. Like this, we are not able to search. Advanced Q&A and all. Okay, fine. Let's start with, I think, see in US, why that is not working, right? Because if I go ahead and see the model access, the cloudy model is not available. See, cloudy instant is not available. So that is the reason that version 1 was available, and I was still exploring things, right? And I probably got in that. But no worries, we'll now go ahead with Stable Diffusion. So let's go to the base model. See, version 2.1, these all models are specifically there. If I go to examples, let's see with respect to Stable Diffusion. So 1.0 is there, 0.8 is there. We'll go with the recent one. And again, I will go ahead and copy this. Okay. So this will basically be my next text JSON. Okay. So I will keep all these things over here itself. Now let me quickly create one more file. Save this. One more file, Stable Diffusion. Now here we will try to create an image in AWS itself from AWS.py. Okay. Now for Stable Diffusion also almost all the things will be same. I've already created the code, but here what I will do, I will just show you what all things I will do. See, Stable Diffusion basically means I have written a prompt data. See, provide me a 4K HD image of beach. Also use blue sky, rainy season, and cinematic display. Okay. Now with respect to this text JSON, here you can see body has something called as text prompt, and then you have text information. And with respect to the text information, this is basically my prompt. Along with this, you have parameters like weight, CFG scale, seed, this is there. So what I do, first of all, I will set in that format only. So first of all, I create my prompt template where I have my text, my prompt data with weight. Okay, so this becomes my entire, this information. Understand this thing, right? You just need to set it. That's it. Text is equal to this information with weight. So I've kept it in the form of list with key value pairs. So that is what I'm getting it over here inside this prompt template. Then I've used Boto client. I've used the service name runtime. Now remaining is all my payload. So inside this, what all payload you require? See, first of all, I require text prompt. The second thing that I require is seed, steps, width, height, right? Width, height. So let me do one thing. I will change this to 1024. I will also change it to 1024. So these are all the parameters I've set. Step size is nothing but 50, width is 1024, height is 1024. So this becomes my entire payload. I have converted this into the JSON. I've used this model ID because this is the same model ID I'm able to get it over here, right? Stability.stable diffusion x1v1. It's very simple. Once you do one, right, everything will be able to use it. So here I've used that. Then I've invoked this model with content type, model ID, body, everything. Once I get the response, now see what response you will get in this format, right? When you probably see the response body, there you'll be getting key value pairs with something called as artifacts. Inside that, you will find a base 64 encoded response of the images. So what we did is that we took this particular artifact of 0, we took that base 64, we encoded it with UTF-8, and this is how you read any encoded image, right? From that encoded image, we have converted that into bytes, and then we have saved that particular image to some output directory. So output directory, output folder will get created, and I am creating one image over here, right? So that is what we are specifically doing with respect to this, right? So file name will be nothing but inside that particular output directory, and then we can open that specific image if you want. Okay, we are writing that image, we are writing that image inside this particular PNG. That is same. See, whatever things we did over here, only the thing that is changing how you're converting that bytes information that we are getting into an image and saving that in our folder. Okay, so let me quickly execute and run it and show it to you, and then you will be able to understand. Okay, so here I will be showing you Python stable diffusion.py. So once I execute it, here you now, okay, request steps 400 generation error. What is this error? Let's see. Okay, there is an error. Let's see what is the error. Bedrock invoke model. Let me see. I think there was a small minor mistake. Which one version? This is Clighted 3. Okay, Windows. Let me see over here. So now it is working. I did some minor mistake over there, which I have fixed it. Okay. So this is the byte information that we are getting. See the image bytes. Now if I see my output folder, this is my image. Okay. So if I go ahead and see, find in folder. Okay. Sorry. I will go ahead and preview in folder, reveal in file explorer. So if I go ahead and create this image, see this image, this is how the image is basically created. And it's look good, right? So what is the prompt I've used over here? If you see with respect to this, my stable diffusion.py. Here we have basically created something like this. Provide me a 4K HD image of a beach. So I hope you got an idea with respect to this. Now in the upcoming videos, what I'll do is that I'll create some amazing projects by using these specific APIs. But in short, once I deploy these projects, I can deploy it any way I want, right? Hugging Face spaces anywhere itself. So my suggestion would be that try as many as you can, see different like character role play, what is the input prompt you really need to give. Based on that, try to create use cases, which will be amazing for you, right? So this was it for my side. I hope you like this particular video.